Hello guys, I have received several requests to show you how I groom the rear of the dog. So I got this young bitch that haven't been groomed for a while, and as you can see she has quite a bit of hair in the rear. Um, so we're gonna do her rear today and show you how I hand strip the rear to make the rear angulation appear, because sometimes the dogs are well angulated, but because of a lot of hair in the area, they look straight. So in this case, she has a lot of hair in some places and not so much in others. But we're gonna take the longer hair and try to shape the rear. I start with a little bit of chalk, and in this case, I'm gonna use the new tool and my hand a few times. And I try first, when I put her on the table, I try to look where there's too much hair that it is upsetting uh, the look of the rear. And once you figure that out, and in her case, most of were behind, below the bum, you know, and between the hock and the that part below the anus where the calyx are. So as you can see, as I brush up, you can see where there's too much hair there, upsetting that little curve of the angle that she has. So we're gonna take the longer hair. As you can see, I brush to always look where the longer hair are, and the longer hairs are, and I start to pull from the tip. In this case, you see me pulling on an angle there. I don't pull straight down, neither on a horizontal direction. I pull on an angle, going from the side to the hock on the other side. Um, I'm struggling a little bit here with the camera because depending on my position, I was covering my movement, so sometimes I had to switch from the tool to my hand, which it gives the same result. The tool only helps you to increase the grip, making it easier on your fingers, you know. And it's also good for when the dogs have a lot of hair. Here I'm pulling a little bit around the anus part, but just the hair that are coming from the side of the body to, and it's covering that area. First I take the excess amount of hair, and then in the end, um, as it gets shorter, then I use the thinning shears just to make it look neater. You see the direction I'm pulling. I'm gonna work more on her left leg, so you guys can see the difference. Then in the end, you can uh, backwards go backwards and look at the beginning of the video to see the difference between the rear at the beginning and the rear at the end. Notice how I always use the pin brush to brush up to see where there's too much hair, and that hair it's covering a lot of her nice rear end. She's not over ungulated, neither under, but the way the hair was covering too much and not making um, her look as nice as she could look. It's not about giving her angles or taking angles, it's just showing what she has a little bit more. Since she's a young puppy, she's 7, 8 months. She hasn't been on the table that much because of the amount of dogs I have, and I haven't groomed her for a few months, so that's why she's a little bit moving a little bit more than I normally have the puppies doing, but mind you, she's behaving well nevertheless. So I'm measuring the hocks and see how much hair I have above the hocks, and I start to pull it. You see it's on an angle going in towards the middle of the leg, towards between the legs. Mind you, as she grows, she'll have more hair there, will look much better. Okay, in this video I'm showing how to uh, exposing a little bit her rear angle so she doesn't look too straight in the rear, as a Westie should be, as in all the standards says, should have a good bend and stifle, should have a, the hock should be well let down, and in some standards says a good angulation in the rear, not over angulated, but should have a good angulation, shouldn't be straight in the rear. Okay, so and we have to show that when we groom without taking the characteristics of a Westie, without upsetting the West's characteristics. Um, see, um, I'll pull a little bit the hair that's going over the part that's covering that area there, just below the anus. And so that part I would use thinning shears to make sure I don't stress the dog too much pulling hair in that area. And right around there also I use the thinning shears in the end. That thinning shears, by the way, is not well sharpened. It's the kennel thinning shears. We need to sand for sharpening, so I'm struggling a little bit. Normally when they are sharp enough, it goes smoother, but I have to do nevertheless, so to show you. Some people, right where you see the dark part there in that puppy, they would use the clippers to clean that up. Have nothing against that. I think it can be done if it's easier. Like you just don't want to do it too much, but um, sometimes even I use a little bit to clean it up, that area. And it's good to clean, so for the dog hygiene as well, so that when they poo or nothing gets stuck in there. So I'm grooming a little bit on the side, and every time I'm pulling the hair, I'm trying to keep the shape of the bum, a little bit round bum, then that slightly curve going in and back out into the hocks. You cannot be over exaggerating that part. I've seen a lot. I wish I could get some examples. One day I might do a dog to show you an example, because I don't want to use other people's dog to give an example of something that I don't consider to be a good way of doing. So one day I might get a dog that's not been going to the show and do it exaggerated, in an exaggerated way so you guys can see. See, I'm looking where the hock is. A West shouldn't have too high hocks, so that's why you go slightly down a little bit there to show a lower hawk, which a Westie should have anyway. Because I think when people leave too much hair on the bottom there, it gives an impression that the Westie have a high hawk, and in my opinion, it's not the way it should look like. And remember, I'm not going to repeat in my opinion, because when I'm saying something, that is in my opinion. I don't have to say that all the time. So if I say something, just remember, it's my way of doing. And if something thinks they should do different, they should do it. And that's why there's a little bit of a difference in the way you groom your Westie and somebody else groom theirs, and the way some Westies looking and others look. So that's that little bit of leeway everybody has uh, in their own breeding and grooming. Okay, so um, once more, I like to say there's many ways of doing, uh, reaching the same results, or even reaching different results. Um, it's not about right or wrong. It's about uh, your way of doing it. As you can see, I'm always brushing up, seeing where the hair looks a little bit out of place. Uh, she is young, so she doesn't have much hair in front of her stifle, in front of the back legs, and not much skirt. So that part's not gonna look the way it should look. So I'm showing the rear part mostly. Okay, how I do that. I decided to do a voiceover this time because everybody was working the camera and there's quite a bit of noise. So I decided I would do the voiceover instead of um, using the microphone there. I'm doing a little bit of the other side, just so when I show the left leg, when I finish it, the other side won't upset much. But I didn't finish the other side in this video because in reality you're gonna do exactly what you did in one side to the other side. They should look as symmetrical as possible when you groom the dogs. Just pay attention to that, you know. As you can see, it's starting to take some shape that we recognize as the rear of the Westie. Then I normally pull the hair on the hocks. I pull the hair on the front legs, and I pull the hair on the skirt. Thinning shears are used mostly to take a little bit of hair that are out of place in the end after I pull. So I take some hair that are out of place that I could do, we could do also with pulling. It's just um, it looks a little bit neater. And also when you have 14 dogs to hand strip, your hand needs to have a break. You can't do that uh, 5 6 hours a day every day and not feel bad about your hands. So the thinning shears also help a little bit there. And for me, there's no point where I'm doing the thinning shears now. There's no point of pulling hair there. You will accomplish nothing, and there's nothing there that would make a difference if you pull instead of doing the thinning shears. Or some people even use the clippers there. In this point, I pull the dog too close to the camera, so there will be a little bit of part that you won't be able to see a little bit where I'm pulling, but very soon it'll go back to normal and you guys will be able to see again. Right, I'm pulling the hocks now and the hairs that are like too long. see, in the inner part of the hocks. And that will also help to show the angle a little bit, you know. Here I go with the brush again, all right? So, and mind you, I didn't do anything with chalk or except the chalk for grip. I didn't chalk it up. I didn't use cholesterol or anything. So it's just pulling and brushing. See, I'm looking just the hair above the hocks there, where I wanted to have that little curve to show the angle a little bit better. Normally when the hair is too long around the feet, I pull up first and then in the end to make it like nice and round. I use the thinning shears. As the hair starts to get thinner, closer to the skin in some points or shorter, you lower your intensity of pull. At the beginning, because there's a lot of hair, you pull with a little bit more intensity, not concerned about making a hole or leaving a bald spot or something like that. But as you get closer, as you get shorter, then you pull with a little bit more careful on the pull, so you don't make a mistake there. That's the important. It's a very important part when grooming, and that's where some people make mistakes. You know. Um, so I continue to pull there, as you saw a couple of my colleagues talking to me about some shows coming up. See, like all that I would have to pull, like that's I always do. Like I pull the hair up, you can, like you could see clearly when I pull the hair up there how much hair it was extra that had to come out. Okay, so I always use the brush or your hand to move the hair a little bit, so the hair almost reveal itself and say, okay, pull me here, take this, take me out here, you know, like. I see. um, Now I'm pulling a little bit of the tail, just because I'm not doing the tail in this video, but just taking a little bit. Like 99% of the dog I pull, and then in the end I use the thinning shears. You know, in the front, for example, when I'm doing the chest, I pull first and then use the thinning shears in the end to make it look nice, straight, flat. Okay. And when I talk flat, I talk about the hair. So this is normally I when a dog is not going to a show, I trim several times. I never finish the dog in one grooming. I trim and then maybe 5 days or 1 week later I'll bring it back and I'll touch it up a little bit more. And another week I touch up. I keep touching up every week, you know. This way you don't have to pull much and the hair starts to grow in layers, okay? So I think that's an important thing. So in the end, I'll do a little bit of a brushing up, make sure uh, every uh, every place is the way I want it to look in the end, okay? And you see, like as you can see in this picture, you already can see a little bit more of the angle in the rear. So, but she's not baked, dried, uh, and with no chalk or anything. So once you do that, they look slightly better, slightly neater. But like you can see the angle, okay. Look her neck. There's a lot of work to do in the front too. You know, the head, the skirt to blend the side with the skirt. So maybe there will be more videos coming up. And I'll try to post several videos of the same area. Look, you can compare this angle now with the angle you saw in the beginning of the video, so you can see the difference. And uh, using this video, you can practice on your dog because there are many people that have the same situation with a lot of hair in the rear, and this video hopefully will help you guys to figure how you would have to do to make it look a little bit better. I'm going around the foot with the thinning shears now, and just to look a little bit neater. I could take a little bit between the pads there that I did, but um, just taking a little bit with the tinny. I pull, of course, but in the end, this thinning shears is horrible. So I hope you don't mind there. It's not looking great, but all right. Okay, so this is more or less what the rear would look like. Now you look from the side, you'll be able to see the angle. Look. So I hope you guys like this video, and if you like, please follow me on Facebook and leave a comment on the video if you have any question, and I will try to answer and help everybody. Now I'm gonna do the other side, and I see you guys later. Bye.